Tanya, good to have you on the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm excited about this chat today.
Yeah, same here. I'm very excited. Also good to see you in Bombay. Usually when I see Instagram, you're only in Maldives for some reason.
I'm always on the go. Yeah.
But that's very cool.
Yeah.
Before we get into today's conversation around, decluttering your wardrobe or building a capsule collection, basically having good quality stuff in your wardrobe, right?
Correct. Yeah.
I want to know a little bit about yourself and your journey.
Yeah. Actually, Aneesh, I think since I was growing up, I had a creative bone in my body for sure from when I was growing up, and I was very into design art. When I was a child, I was into kind of creating craft. Like, it was always a thing for me. Obviously, like all other kids, I was academically inclined as well, but I knew that I had a design bone in my body. I went to Bhasin School of Design to study, and I did a fundamentals in design course, and I think I kind of got taken in with fashion when I was in New York, obviously.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I have to do this, But I was still figuring if I wanted to be a designer or, I didn't even properly know what a stylist was at that point. I was still figuring all that out. Came back to India and continued studying. I went to SNDT and I studied apparel manufacture and design. So I'm kind of trained to be a full-fledged designer, hopefully at some point.
Yeah, that'd be exciting.
Yeah. And then I worked, and Vogue had just kind of come to India. They were launching, and Anita was headlining it or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, I have to work with Vogue. It's the biggest thing. And so I did a few internships at Vogue. I didn't ever work with them full time, but it was kind of like my into the world of fashion in India, and no better place to start than Vogue. So I started off there, and then I think it was like how one thing leads to another. Like, I think that's what happened with me. Vogue led me to kind of working with a couple of stylists that were in the game at that point. Mamta Anand, who's Siddharth Rajanand's wife, was a stylist. She still styles. I worked with her for a bit, and then Riya Kapoor was friends with my sister, and she was very, very young, very talented, very smart, and she was like, oh, I'm starting this film. It's basically Clueless being made in India, and it's just a bunch of girls, and it's going to be beautiful clothes, and you're a young girl, would you like to jump on board on the styling team? And I think that's how my journey started, with like kind of fusing fashion and Bollywood
How
together.
long back was this?
2011 or 12, I think Aisha was. Yeah.
Oh.
2011, I think, yeah.
Also, a little shout out to Punch Me.
Yeah. Shout out to Punch Me all the time.
All the time. And also, I think everyone I know has done an internship at Vogue at some point.
Yeah, everyone.
That almost seems like a very Bombay thing. And I worked extensively with GQ and Condé Nast in the past. So, those connections always keep coming up.
Yeah.
So, you do this movie.
And then it was basically with Sonam Kapoor, who is a school of fashion herself.
Yeah.
So I was super young, and I was working with Purnia Qureshi, who's also one of my closest friends now, and she was basically the head stylist, and she needed a team under her, and we had to style 4 girls: Sonam, Amrita Puri, Lisa Hayden, Ira Dubey. And everyone had like a very different kind of wardrobe. And so it was really exciting to work on. I was very young, and it was just, I think Sonam is somebody who kind of shaped the way I thought of fashion as well, because she really is like, she really lets you be. She really is creatively very, very inspiring. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely is. I think one of your styling assignments was the Sacred Games shoot.
Yeah, it was.
I really liked that.
Yeah.
That was so nice.
I was so exciting to do it. And I remember when Netflix called me and they were like, okay, we have to do this shoot. And I was like, okay, but like Sacred Games is a very it's very costume driven, in like very situational. So like they were like, okay, it has nothing to do with the show. You just have to have fun, make it fashion, make it edgy, make it like kind of 70s. So we really just had a blast, in terms of like putting things together. And like I remember when I went for the shoot, and like I told Pankaj Tripathi he has to wear a checkered like double-breasted suit. He just looked at me, he's like, are you sure? I was like, for sure.
Guy Tonde never looked that good in the show.
Yeah, it was exciting. Yeah. So I think, I'm very lucky because, Aneesh, honestly, very few people get to do something in their life where like I wake up every morning and I'm so excited about work, So I'm like grateful, blessed.
Touch wood.
Yeah.
So, also, how does styling, like what's the typical workflow for styling assignment, right? Like how you said this was not to do much with the show, but just to create that era, I guess.
Yeah.
How do typically your assignments go? How do you figure out who's going to look good in what? Because that's a pretty, and the kind of people you work with, right? It's also...
It's a high stress job.
Yeah, it's a super high stress job.
For sure. I think... just like everyone else, we were talking about this earlier actually, that you sometimes learn on the job, like, so when I first started, I was of course assisting Pernia while I was watching her style. I was watching the way Sonam puts things together. I think you learn as you go along. And having said that, I've been styling for 14, 15 years now. Of course, I've made mistakes, along the way. I've learned from them. I've been criticized as well. I've been applauded as well. But I think the most important thing is to understand where you are styling someone. So if it's event appropriate, what their body type is at that point in their life. I always say fashion, of course, is important, but if you put someone in something they're really uncomfortable in, you're going to see it on their face, and they'll never look good in it. So understanding your client as well, or your project, your assignment, is very, very important. And and I think just doing enough research, having enough options to work with, and I think at the end of the day, it's a collaborative process. So it's between me, my client, and my team, you know. So I think it's honestly, you cannot take credit. It's just not one person. It's never one person. It's always a team of people.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's you being very gracious. I think what's happened in my personal journey is that if I look back 10 years, I don't think I put in much effort to understand the kind of clothes I was buying. Speaking as a male, and I think I've seen that with my friends as well. I don't think we even cared about the kind of quality of products we were buying.
Yeah.
And I think now at least I've come to a point in life, I'm in my late 30s, but where you are being a lot more conscious of what you're buying all around.
100%,
right?
yeah.
And your wardrobe is a pretty important part of it, right?
Correct, yeah.
It's happened with everything, right? It's happened with drinking. I'll rather drink less, but I'll have a really good drink.
For sure.
And I see the same happen with clothes, and I think what I wanted to basically understand today was that how do you start to build a capsule collection, something that's basically nothing in my wardrobe should be that why did I buy this and what is it doing here?
Yeah.
How do you go about that?
I think it's a very important conversation to have, because if just talk about women to start with, we can, and I think that I'm guilty as well at some point. We've all been hoarders, we love to just shop. And sometimes you use it once or twice and you don't see it again. And it's just lying in your wardrobe. And I think to become more conscious of what you're shopping, what the quality of the product is that you're shopping, and how you can make max use of it. You know what I mean? I think it's very important for men and women. So I think now finally people are starting to take notice of the fact that quality over quantity for sure, with everything in life. So I think what is a capsule wardrobe? A capsule wardrobe is that you buy key pieces or staple pieces, and you make a list of those staple pieces, and it could be obviously different things for men and women, but basically the maximum amount that you can mix and match with X amount of pieces. So if it's 10 pieces or 20 pieces, how you can make use of those 20 pieces to utilize them in the best possible way, you know.
Yeah.
And I say this, I remember recently I did like a masterclass wherein I was talking about workwear for women and how they can make it like you know, people dress up and go to work, but like how can they make it exciting, because it's a 9 to 5 job. And so I think, understanding what those key pieces are that are going to be there in your wardrobe, and, you know, working with a color palette. It could be neutrals, you know, because then you can always mix and match easily. So that is what a capsule wardrobe is. I remember where the whole capsule wardrobe thing actually started in 1985. Donna Karan had done a runway show, and it was really interesting because she put 8 models on the runway. I don't know if you know this at all.
Know this.
Yeah, she put 8 models on the runway in like a full black bodysuit, and all they did was they took a top, then put a skirt with it, then got the top off, then took another top.
Yeah.
You know, so basically made like different variations, and she showed her whole collection like that, you know. So that was what a capsule collection is. And it was very interesting to do that because it basically tells you how you don't need a lot. You just need to be slightly more creative, you know, and I think that's where sustainability comes from, right? Yeah. So just have the eye to pick up the right things, you know, and see what's important in your wardrobe, and don't like overbuy, you know, just for the sake of...
Overbuying is just so easy, right? Constant ads, constant...
it's
everything.
so easy. And now I think our phones are listening to us.
We were going to get ads of some wardrobe, some capsule collection.
Capsule collection.
Going forward, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So what would these key pieces be?
Okay. So I think for women, I would say a really nice black dress, a pair of nude heels, a good pair of trousers, a few t-shirts, a few shirts, a really nice 2 day bags, you know, maybe a pair of flats, a pair of sneakers, 1 pair of heels, you know, sunglasses if you like 1 or 2 pairs of really good sunglasses, a pair of black pants. I think these are like some basic pieces. A cashmere sweater, you know, a really nice shawl that you can throw over something when you're traveling. An athleisure set for sure. Activewear is so big right now. So a really good pair of activewear, like it could be a quad set. I think a capsule wardrobe for a woman could be a really nice, beautiful sari. You know, for a girl, it could be your mom's sari, something, you know, that she's handed you down. And I think I love the idea of accentuating your clothes with like a beautiful, like some vintage jewelry, you know. So I think that those are things. There are just a few things. I can name a couple of more, but I think for women, that's what a capsule collection would be. A capsule wardrobe for you would be. And then for men, a really nice suit, you know, for sure. A couple of shirts, could be stripe, white, you know, maybe a couple of neutral colors. Again, an activewear set. You know, formal shoes, a pair of sneakers, 2-3 pairs of jeans that fit you really well, maybe a pair of chinos, some t-shirts, some oversized t-shirts, because I love oversized t-shirts.
Current men wear the oversized phase right now.
Some caps.
Some caps, never heard.
Yeah, and maybe 1 or 2 pair of sunglasses. These are just a few things. Obviously, I could name a couple of more things, but I think this is what, and then within this, you can mix and match. A really nice blazer for a guy, you know, a well-fitted blazer that can go from like day to night. So these, I think, a couple of capsule pieces. And of course, I'm not saying that you don't buy that one-off piece that is really interesting and you want to have it in your wardrobe. Go ahead, buy it, enjoy your life. But I think that what happens with us is that we get into every time you're traveling, or like now online shopping is just so addictive. You see something new and you're just like, oh my God, I have to have it. You know, you don't have to have everything.
And I hear this so much. But I also hear this so much that people will buy stuff online and then you're somewhat disappointed with quality, right?
Yeah. For sure. I think this is why understanding what the brands like, picking the brands that have good quality, and maybe having like a little like a bracket of designers that you like, certain brands you like, because you know that their quality is very good. It's it's a high quality product, and you know that. What is a high quality product? A high quality product is one that you can wash and wear without losing shape, color. So I think understanding what those brands are and working with those brands, instead of going with the whole fad of like, oh my God, this isn't, you see something online and you're just like, okay, it looks good, but is it going to be sustainable? So picking products that are good quality, high quality, that are going to be sustainable, and I think using natural fibers and natural fabrics basically are definitely the future. Yeah.
Like a couple of things you spoke, right, at least for men, like when it comes to jeans, you get a good pair of jeans, it's going to last you a lifetime.
Exactly.
You take good care of it, it's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere.
Same with the suit, you get a good quality suit.
Yeah.
I went to a very interesting exhibition that's on till end of March at Kotachiwari at 49A.
I've heard about this one.
This ladies' collection, the Isimiyaki.
Yeah.
So I'd gone for the opening night of that. It's about 142 pieces of her wardrobe, which is Isimiyaki. And those clothes are perfectly fine. They're from 70s, 80s. They're absolutely perfectly fine.
Yeah,
well taken care of. And to me, it was like, wow, you have a wardrobe that today is getting exhibited, is in perfect condition.
Yeah.
And when you read that, it was like she would wear that even to a hospital. It wasn't like a one-off thing. You just, that's how
this
you
is
are.
why I mean, my friend who's also someone I worked with, Pernia, she has an app now called Saratoria, which does pre-loved clothes. I think pre-loved is going to be so big world over. It's already really big internationally. Hopefully India warms up to it as well. I really truly believe in upcycling, and I feel that it's such a good initiative as well in the world. If you've used an X amount of clothes, and you can upcycle them and someone else can use them if they're in good condition. I bought a Moschino skirt suit set in LA in 2012. I still wear it, and I think I'm a stylist and I love clothes, but I've been a very firm believer in really using the pieces that you own, and understanding why it's so important to not just hoard.
What about the pressure of not being seen in the same dress again?
Actually, I never feel that pressure. I am Libran, and my parents always tell me, and my friends always tell me, they're like, "Oh my God, you repeat way too much," But I think that's a quality that I have.
To me, that's a cool thing.
Yeah, I'm constantly repeating, like to the level that actually everybody makes fun of me. They're like, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and you're back on Monday, and she'll be wearing something either she'll be wearing the same thing, or she'll be wearing it again in the week. I have some pieces in my wardrobe, I think we all do, that we love absolutely, and we'll keep repeating them, So now what I've started to do is, the ones that I don't use, I've started kind of giving it away. I give it away. Either I give to pre-love websites, or I'll just donate them. Someone else can use them. Just don't keep things.
Any of these pre-loved websites that you can think of right now?
Yeah, I think Saratoria to start with is one of them. And then, of course, there is also there's a website internationally called Front Row London. They do more pieces that you can rent, basically. Again, pre-loved pieces, vintage pieces that you can rent, basically, and wear. And I think that's Rent the Runway. Like, there are lots of websites. So I think there's VRGT Vintage in India that does pre-loved as well. Bags, shoes, clothes. So I think that's the way to go right now, honestly. I feel if you can, start doing that. And I think if everybody can start doing that a little bit. Yeah.
I know you very quickly took me through the pieces for men and women. I think for women, especially, if you can take me not me, but who I was listening also, take us through a little bit more of actual mixing and matching, and ranging from, like you said, right, it's an athleisure thing that's, I don't think you can be at an airport today without being in athleisure, but how does that translate from casually going out to office wear and stuff like that?
So basically, I'll just give you an example, a random example. I was in New York in 2021, and I see everywhere I go, I was just seeing women in activewear and athleisure the whole day. And I was like, wow, okay, you wake up in the morning and you're in activewear, you go to your yoga, whatever, and then you're in sneakers. And then you could transition that into like a day to all day to an evening and night look, because you can literally actually be, if say you are doing yoga and then you kind of put on like a sweatshirt, you do a meeting, you can put on a blazer and wear it with like ankle boots and accessorize it a little bit, and you're ready to go out, for dinner. So I think basically you can actually this is why the capsule thing is so important, because if you have a blazer in your wardrobe, or one of those like blazers that can be like a staple or a key piece, you can kind of wear it with so many things. You can wear it with a pair of shorts, you can wear it with a pair of jeans, you can wear it with active wear, you can wear it with you can wear it over a dress.
Yeah.
So I think just have pieces that you can wear again and again in different ways. Again, to say like workwear, if you have a pair of black palazzo pants, you can wear an oversized shirt with it one day. You can wear the same pants with like a cashmere sweater one day. You can wear the same pants with like a crop shirt. You can wear it with a t-shirt. You can throw on a blazer. So I'm just saying that, if you have pieces that you can mix and match, you don't have to always wear 100% new outfit.
Yeah.
You don't need to. You can just wear the same thing and mix and match and put one new element in it, and it will look different. So I think that is the way. That is dressing sustainably. And I think that is something that I really kind of motivate people to do.
Yeah, I think blazer is such an important thing to have. Like, one of my pet peeves is seeing people wear ill-fitted blazers.
Yeah.
And like, just get it stitched. Like,
yeah, for men, honestly, I feel whether it's a suit or whether it's a pair of really good trousers and stuff, like, of course, you're shopping and you can pick up something from a good brand, etc. But a well-fitted suit is one that's stitched, and made to order to your size. And I think because everybody's body is so different, how are you going to pick it up from the store? I think when you make one, and then that can stay in your wardrobe for for a long time. Yeah.
And growing up, everything was stitched. That was how it was. Our uniforms were stitched.
Everything was stitched, right? Yeah.
So I grew
up. What
up,
about uniform?
So I grew up with an army background. My father was in the army, and we were in the small cantonment called Mau near Indore. And most of the tailors there were Salvador trained.
Oh,
and I was
wow.
I was like, I wish I knew all of that now and perhaps go back there to get stuff stitched. But it was all British inspired, right?
Yeah.
And there was a reason why the uniforms would just be so good and look so good and fit so good, because it was all Salvador trained people making your uniforms and blazers, which is very cool.
Actually, one person who wears made to order stitched clothing that I have had conversations with, and I don't think anybody knows made to order the way he does, is Saif Ali Khan. Like, he always wears he's the most immaculately dressed man in India, and he has an incredible wardrobe, and he believes actually a lot in quality, and he loves clothes, but he understands them, he understands fabrics and fits and stuff, and he'll have an X amount of pieces, and he knows how to use them. And I think that is something that I feel, even as a stylist, he's an actor, but he knows so much more than me about this. And it's so interesting to hear him speak about it, because he's so passionate about it. And and I think fits are, for men especially, a well-fitted suit or trousers or a shirt is so important. I have friends that only stitch their shirts to work.
That also blows my mind. Why would you not get your shirt stitched? Like,
Yeah.
it's just basic.
Basic, because then it fits you perfectly, right? As opposed to something you go and pick up off the rack, which you're going to wear a couple of times and not use it again.
Yeah, and it's not even like it's... A lot of times it's not more expensive either. So it's...
Exactly. It's actually, honestly, sometimes probably works out cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure. Sustainable spending as well.
Sustainable spending, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have those couple of really nice white shirts, and they're just going to be universal with anything. For me personally, like, a lot of times, if I know I have to go out in the evening, but I have work in the morning or tons of other things, just jeans, sneakers, wear a t-shirt, shirt, or a double-breasted blazer, and you're good
to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say. But honestly, Aneesh, I have to say, whenever I've seen you out and about, you're quite like into you're quite like put together. Like, that's cool.
Oh, thank you. Oh, that's very cool to hear from you. No, I have my simple thing of shorts, t-shirt, and a cap.
No, that's cool. But that's unique to you, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what style is. Style is whatever is unique to you, whatever is your kind of statement, whatever it could be.
I think then there are small things, right? Like the watch. Like to me, that's my pop of color now.
Yeah, of course.
Could be your socks, could be
anything. It could be that one or two elements in your wardrobe that are screaming out your style or your uniqueness, your name.
I think for men now there are so many options to accessorize, which perhaps may not have been the thing earlier, or perhaps I was not aware of that earlier. But simple things, just something as simple as changing the laces of your sneakers, right?
Correct.
Just adding a little more color. So. For me, it'll usually be black or like neutrals, apart from denims being blue a lot of times. But simple accessories here and there, and it's good to go.
I think sneakers is a big thing for men, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's I think how women feel about bags and bags and like jewelry is how men feel about like sneakers. Like,
but I'm very proud of myself. I've not bought a sneaker in the last 4 months.
Oh wow!
And,
slow claps.
And I'm gonna do two things though. I'm gonna downsize my HMT watch collection. So when HMT announced that they're shutting down, and before that I had no idea about watches. I was like, okay, if something's shutting down, let's explore this a little bit more, right? So they have this really bad website. I think it's still terrible, and I literally would buy everything that would keep coming up. So I ended up with about 42 HMT watches, and I was like, I need to downsize this. There is no ways this makes sense anymore. So I'm going to downsize on my sneakers and my watches.
Yeah.
Fewer pieces, but again,
100%. I actually have two people that I know. One is Pernia, who is one of my close friends, and Ekta Rajani, who's a stylist, who hasn't bought anything new, and now that's like intense, but I know I have to talk about it today because I think it's so amazing. She hasn't bought anything new in like a decade.
That is so amazing. That,
like, how?
Like, solid respect, man.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Exactly. And she reuses and mixes matches from her wardrobe, her mom's wardrobe, and like puts things together, and she really uses what she has until it comes to a point where it's just like, okay, it's not usable. But actually, we have a lot of pieces we can use for a long time if we buy the right quality, as opposed to just like using it a few times and kind of buying new things. And Pernia as well, who I was talking to recently, she told me something very interesting. She gifts herself something on special occasions, like her birthday or like her daughter's birthday. So she's picked like 2-3 days in the year. She's like, okay, now I'm allowed to shop on those days. So it makes it much more exciting, gives you the incentive to buy the right things and not just aimlessly shop.
That's actually a very good point. I've seen this with watches for a lot of people, and I did this with one of my watches when I ran my full first marathon in Jan. And I was like, you know what? You deserve a prize for this.
Exactly. So I think when you do that, it's so much more exciting. It feels like you're gifting yourself a little like
and
present.
Always takes you back to that memory then, right? That I got this for this or because of this.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember talking to Ekta about this because she was a big evangelist of capsule wardrobes. But yeah, but that is so impressive. 10 years you've not
So
bought anything, right?
impressive.
And she dressed up so well. Like
She's always immaculately dressed, and she's one of the, I mean, she's definitely a stylist that's done like incredible work and stuff. So I think coming from her, it's so motivating. Like
Yeah.
when I look at her, I'm like, wow, like that is amazing. I wish I could be like that, even if I can start my journey somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think people keep telling me, you're a stylist, you must be obsessed with fashion, obsessed with clothes. I am obsessed with the idea of fashion and creating and stuff. But actually, if you take me on a holiday, I don't want to shop. I just want to like eat good food, walk around, look at people, observe people, go to galleries. Like, I want to just explore, I think that's...
I sound like a stalker right now, but on your Instagram, I think all your holidays are either in Maldives or at a tiger reserve. There are no shops there.
Exactly. I think I kind of love being in nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take a short little break.
Yes.
When we come back, I want to get to know some faux pas you think people really need to stop in 2023.
For sure. There are lots.
Hey, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. Listeners, presenting to you Club Saris Says, the premium tier offerings of our podcast. Club members will get exclusive Cock and Bull episodes every Monday, extended and unfiltered versions of the guest episodes, access to the Club Saris Says Discord server, and audio offerings such as ad-free episodes and early access to guest episodes. Also, members get to decide the topics of the live episodes and get their name on the producer's slate at the end credits. On Cock and Bull, it's a cricket special episode featuring Akash and Sriram. They answer some AMAs from their listeners. On the Vox podcast, Monica talks to Tina Sidana, Business Development Head of Alexa Voice Services at Amazon. They discuss the key aspects of voice and audio marketing, content marketing, and advertising. On All Things Policy, Leah and Harshit discuss the importance and requirement of sex education in schools. And on Vartalab, Akash and Naveen have a fun chat with me, Abbas Momin, stand-up comedian and podcaster. They spoke about how Abbas, that's me, went from studying dentistry to writing and performing comedy and podcasts and his love for movies. Once again, don't forget to visit our merch store on ivmpodcast.com. We have some exciting stuff for you over there. Follow us on social media via IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. If you like our shows, spread the word, tell your friends and don't forget to rate and review them wherever you're listening to them. You'll also find all our shows on youtube.com/IVM Podcast. And finally, we would like to thank our sponsors this week: LIC of India, Yono SBI, Cash Free Payments and HDFC Mutual Fund. Thank you for making this possible.
All right, we're back at Aneesh thing. I'm with Tanya. Well, couple of more things I want to talk about. One is how does seasonality affect your wardrobe? And I think that's one aspect I've seen of fast fashion, right? Like different collections coming up throughout the year. So how do you also perhaps plan for that or go about that?
Okay, now in terms of, this is the thing with any industry, seasonal fashion or trends, the fashion world is trying to sell. It's just like any other industry. You're trying to sell clothes. It's a business at the end of the day. So they have to come up with things that will entice you to buy, right? But, it's really, I don't know if I should be speaking like this.
You should,
considering
100% you should.
I'm a stylist, but honestly, I think falling constantly for trends and seasonal fashion is not the right way to look at things. That's why we're talking about the whole capsule and sustainability and stuff, is because of course you can buy a couple of things that are seasonal, which is like a winter wardrobe. So you can have a capsule winter wardrobe or an autumn winter wardrobe and a capsule summer collection. But if you fall for seasonal pieces there are technically four, because there's resort, there's fall, there is spring, and then I think there are 2 resort collections that happen in the year. If you fall for that, you're going to be spending all your money.
What are 2 resort collections?
No, like big designers basically have technically 4 seasons in the year, and they do your certain brands have couture and ready to wear both. So technically they have like 6 collections in the year, where they are like churning out like new clothes or whatever. If you constantly fall for what's in trend in season, you're only going to be spending money, on clothes. So of course, if you're someone who's a lover of fashion, again, like I said, you can pick up those key pieces, beautiful things. You like something that's trending, or that's become something that's I'm trying to find the word for it. There will always be pieces that if you're in the fashion circuit, that will become iconic. To have or own that piece, then it's not even about seasonal, because it's going to stay iconic. A really beautiful Chanel bag, it's always going to be around. If you're someone who loves fashion, whether it's a Kelly or a Birkin or whatever, if you're someone, like I would say, like, save money and, get a piece that's gonna stay handed down to your daughter or your sister or whatever. To me, that's amazing, because there's a story behind it, so I think it's okay, when seasonality is a big thing, obviously, in fashion. But I think to understand and have kind of 2 wardrobes and have pieces that, you can maybe add things to it every season, like 1 or 2 pieces, and pick the pieces, like be a bit more like, let it be a bit thought of, as opposed to just buying something that's trending.
Yeah, fair. What about some faux pas? You think there are some faux pas that really need to end in 2023?
God, there are so many.
Tell me a few.
I'm actually kind of very sick of off-shoulders with women, because I just feel like they came like 2-3 years ago and it's just not going. Just like, everything is off-shoulder. I know like dungarees was a big thing, and it's very unfortunately come back. I think to me that's a little bit of a fashion faux pas. Unironed clothes. When people wear unironed clothes,
I am kind of guilty for that with some t-shirts.
I'm just like, it takes 2 minutes, guys. I think that is definitely a fashion faux pas. I think
this one's ironed though.
Yeah, for sure. I think Indians have a very bad habit of over-accessorizing. And there's a really interesting Chanel quote where she said that before you leave the house, always look in the mirror and drop one thing, like one thing less, because I think Indians tend to chandelier themselves, like when they're wearing, especially when they're wearing Indian clothes or whatever. Like we are very we're very excessive in the way we are culturally, So I think that is definitely, to me, it's a bit of a fashion faux pas. I think these are just a few things. I can go on and on.
But yeah, that's good. That's a good start.
Yeah.
But anything else you want to add?
What do you think is a fashion faux pas for men?
Oh, for men, so many. And I'm pretty pretty sure I've done all of these. I've 100% done all of these myself. Just like bad shoes, man. Just wearing
shoes.
Like just wearing mismatched trousers and shoes and socks, and like wearing a sports socks, like wearing a black sports socks with a suit, like like stuff like that, right? Yeah, exactly.
You're right.
And then I have a couple of really these pet peeves with like watches in particular.
Yeah.
Like when someone wears a Daniel Wellington, that really pisses me off. Just stuff
Invest
like that.
in the right things.
Invest in the right thing. Like if I again go back to watches, you can get a 1,000 rupee Casio that's timeless. You can wear it anywhere. It'll be cool.
Yeah.
It's relevant. It's got history. But yeah, just do a little more research before you're buying something.
100%. I just feel like also, actually one big fashion faux pas right now is that everybody thinks like it's cool to wear everything oversized. But like, my thing is that sometimes people are wearing sunglasses that cover their whole face. You can't even see their face. And I understand like oversized, but sunglasses is something, it's very personal. It has to look good on your face like shape. So if you have a round face, certain glasses will look good on you. If you have a oval or a square, so you can't just wear oversized sunglasses because everyone's wearing them.
Fair, good point.
Yeah,
I do see that quite a bit.
Yeah. So I think that's something that people need to realize. Like I know I have a tiny face, so I will always wear small glasses, like sunglasses that are like that look good for my face shape, So I think that is definitely a faux pas.
Fair. Tanya, thank you so much. This was amazing. I learned so much as well.
Thank you. It was really fun, and it's just so easy, and you made it easy.
Thank you.
It was like having a chat in a coffee shop.
What about your social media handles?
At Tanya Ghavri. Yeah. @Tanya Ghavri.
And if you happen to bump into her, please do not be in dungarees wearing oversized sunglasses.
Please don't. I will be telling you off.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Aneesh.